Happy October.
Stop.
Happy October.
Happy October.
Happy October. I'm Reece.
And I'm Dea.
And we are literally dead. And this is Happy October. Nah, this is the part of our Oktoberfest.
Yes. Not to be confused with the beer thing.
No, we don't drink. We do drink beer actually.
Welcome back to our Creep Marathon. We are going through the entire franchise for Halloween this year.
Yeah.
We're doing Creep 1, Creep 2, and the first season of the Creep Tapes.
Yeah, which is what this is. Today we'll be going over episode 1 and 2 of the Creep Tapes.
Now, if you're familiar with our Fright Bite format, you know that we're not usually one to do spoiler reviews in these. However, because it's a TV show, we will be doing more of a similar format to the way we do our regular podcasts.
So if you didn't want spoilers, then this might not be for you.
No. We're going to go through episodes 1 and 2 today, and then you'll see us for the other ones.
Yeah. Although I do recommend you watch our episode on the first Creep film before this one. It might give you a bit more context.
Get the vibe.
Yeah. Or, go watch the film, even.
Yeah. I think they're both on Netflix still.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They should be by the time this comes out.
Better be in it.
In it. Okay.
In it.
Anyway, let's get to episode 1 of the Creep Tapes.
Episode 1 of the Creep Tapes. And they're all found footage, by the way. So
Yeah.
the person filming this is walking through a kind of dark house, and there's notes. There's 2 notes, and it's like, keep roll before you enter. Are you rolling? Remember, you're the victim.
Yeah. You're playing the victim. Don't miss your cue.
They get a script as well.
Yeah, there's a script on the table. It says, this is your script. Yeah.
And then they look up, and there is the creep. We're going to call him the creep because in every episode and in every film he has a different name.
Yeah.
I believe sometimes he's credited as just Peach Fuzz. So I noted him down as the creep. But
Yeah. So we call him the Creep.
Yeah.
That is, if you watched our episode on the first film, that you know who he is.
You know who he is.
And if you didn't, then go watch it.
Yes. And he's played every time by Mark Duplass, who originated the character and helped create the series and the films. And very good. Very good actor.
He is very good. But yes, now he's dressed
as a vampire.
As a vampire.
It's a kind of shitty Halloween costume type thing. And he recites these lines and it's not going very well.
No.
You figure out as the episode goes on that this guy was hired to kind of film a audition tape for an acting school.
Yeah. For a I think it's a 9-month screen acting course.
Yeah.
But it's the hardest to get to in the country.
The most prestigious 9-month screen acting course.
Yeah, and he's answering a Craigslist ad, it seems. It's always a Craigslist ad.
Yeah, I think maybe it's because it's harder to track people down on that one.
Yeah, but also it's just infamous, Craigslist.
I guess so. I've never used it. Do we have that over here?
Maybe. Well, I don't think they really have it anywhere anymore.
Is it just...
it's definitely out there, but I don't think it's used like it used to.
I guess so, but Craigslist...
I know Craigslist used to be Grindr.
Craigslist used to be Grindr?
In the sense that, a lot of gay people used to, meet for hookups on Craigslist when they couldn't on Grindr.
That is crazy.
That's what I heard. I don't know if the older gays were lying to me.
That's true. We're not that old.
No. I know, weird, right? There's people older than us. Oh! Anyway, the point is, he's being paid $1,000, which is, as you'll know by now, is pretty standard.
For the creep to offer, he always offers in thousands.
Yeah, well, up until this point, it's just ever been 1,000. Maybe it's a psychological reason I do question. Maybe it's 1,000 sounds large.
1,000 sounds large, and it's if it's less than 1,000, then they might back up. But no one's gonna back up for $1,000.
Yeah, if they said 900, it's questionable, but 1,000.
Yeah.
It's such a number that just psychologically you're oh, okay, I'm willing to do things for this. You know?
To be fair.
To be fair, what are you willing to do for $1,000?
Film a creepy guy in a house, probably. If he takes his clothes off, I'm out.
I don't know. What kind of film is it, Get dirty. So, by the way, the guy filming is called Mike, if you didn't know.
All the episodes are named after the victims of every episode.
Which is cool, right?
Yeah. Because it's the names on the tapes in the intro and at the end of Creep 1. It's the Creep Tapes.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I will say really early on too, he does scare him with Peach Fuzz, which if you've watched Creep or if you've watched that episode on Creep, you know about Peach Fuzz.
Yeah. It's a wolf mask.
So they're already establishing in the show that like, oh, here's Peach Fuzz, you know?
But it also establishes things that he does in every single kill. Because he's done them in Creep 1, he's done them in Creep 2, and now he's doing them in Creep Tapes. From what I gather, because of the way he's shaved and like some parts he's grey, some he's not, some of these episodes are prequels and some of them are sequels.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption was that it was going to be about the tapes before the last film.
But so in some of them, he does look older.
Yeah. Because I will say too, like, in the opening for the show, it doesn't seem like there's any more tapes than there were in the movie when they show you the same shelf.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting in every episode, like you said, like his appearance changes a lot, and they were definitely trying to take that into account, which I appreciate. The fact that they were like, oh, regardless of whether these prequels or sequels, these tapes are supposed to be from different eras of his life. So they really do, like, he's got completely different facial hairs, completely different hair, but also I think it's indicative of the character because he's constantly reinventing himself and he seems to have fun with these kills. I mean, the fact that he's playing an actor, and his whole thing is a monologue.
And in the first film, he does say, oh, in my life, I tried to be an actor. Like, it's referencing essentially this. I wonder if there's, like, a timeline, like, someone's put a timeline together on how to watch Creep 1 and 2 and the tapes, you know?
That would be beautiful. But anyway, they finish filming, and he's acting crazy like usual. He's
a bit of a drama queen in this one.
Yeah.
He's really like, you don't want me to get into acting school. In Creep 2, he's like this as well, where he's just like, he's such a fucking perfectionist, and he hates it when things don't go exactly how he wants them to go.
And he loves questioning people's honesty. You know, he asks Mike, he says, oh, how do you think that take was? He said, I think you got it. And he's like, you don't think I got it? You know I haven't got it. Like, I can tell that you don't even want to be here.
I think it's a psychological thing. I think it's that, like, when your honesty is being questioned, you're not going to question their honesty.
Yeah.
At least if you're
It's
polite.
all the same techniques he used in all of his kills.
Yeah, very manipulative.
But then he has a, revelation that, oh, I actually just need to play a victim for my audition tape. And he pays Mike another $1,000 to play the perpetrator. But then they start to enact a scene from Misery.
And he's put this fucking blonde wig on, and he's like tied to this bed, and he's like, right, Mike, now run at me with the bat, and Mike's so fucking uncomfortable, and he tries, but he sucks, and he gets like done. He's like, ugh, I don't want to be the victim, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I would say this like first episode was quite dry.
Yeah.
To the most extent. It wasn't great, but you will realize later on when it comes to the later episodes that this really was just warming you up and being like, oh, here he is, just showing us other things he's done.
A standard kill, essentially.
Yeah, for fans of like the films already,
Yeah. So then he after the Misery stuff doesn't work out, he essentially just goes and is like, okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to be the villain again, but not in the like old-timey Dracula way. That was ridiculous. Let's go shoot a film outside. Yeah. Because at this point, Mike is frustrated. Like, he's been creeped out by the Peach Fuzz mask. The creep has literally stormed off once or twice already. Like,
which he's famous for doing.
Very many, like, mood swings and things like that. And so, until he's offered more money again. And now they go out in the snow. It's a stump with the axe in it. Familiar axe, if you've seen it.
By the way, he pays him another $2,000.
$2,000 now.
To get him out into the snow.
So at this point, he's given him $4,000.
Yeah. Which
he's just had on hand.
Well, he knows he's going to be getting it back.
That's true. And then the creep kind of does this like monologue in front of the camera where it's like, don't you think I'm gonna like murder you? I'm an actor, but how do you know I'm being honest? And he says this thing about authenticity.
Because he shows in the axe and he says it's actually rubber.
Yeah.
And he runs his hand over the blade and he says, see? And he says, do you even want to feel it? And
but he only lets him feel the handle. He doesn't let him feel the blade. But he even brings that up in his monologue as well.
Yeah, but the monologue's going back and forth. Like, is this real? Is it not? That's the beauty of it. Yeah. It's a little meta too. It's kind of talking about the character itself, but also the actor who plays the character. It just sort of speaks on the beauty of the films of Creep, which is like the character never knowing what is real and what isn't. Yeah. They perform it so well, you never know when it stops and starts and who is who.
But that's what made the original Creep films work, is specifically his performance and how naturalistic it was.
Yes. For episode 1 of the Creep tapes, it was a cute little like nod, a little meta nod,
Very tongue-in-cheek. And then he's like, okay, but I didn't let you feel the blade. And then a kind of like chase ensues.
Yeah, well, what he specifically says, because you don't want to miss the beauty of this line.
Yeah.
He says, and now you're thinking, when I ran my hand across the blade, if this is a real axe, I would be bleeding. So if I was to reveal my hand to you and it would be covered in blood, then you would know that this axe is real and that you were in danger. Oh, and he slowly lifts his hand and he flicks his fingers open and his palm is bare. There's no blood. And Mike giggles and he says, oh, I was really scared there for a moment.
Yeah.
And the creep is like, yeah, isn't that so funny? Oh my God, like, let's go film this scene. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. And then they go to high five, but he uses his other hand, which is
covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
And then Mike gets fucking scared.
It's such a funny moment, and Mike is freaked out.
Do you know what? I think that's the best moment of the episode, I think.
Oh, 100%. It was all worth it up to that. Even the monologuing was a bit like, okay.
Yeah.
But then it had payoff. There was reason to listen, you know?
Definitely. And then there's like a chase scene that ensues. He references The Shining because at one point Mike drops the camera and just runs for it. And he sees the snow and is like, oh, did you walk back in your tracks like in The Shining? And then he turns to the camera and Mike is like in a tree. And Mike is debating, like, do I go to the car or do I run in a different direction? And he tries to get to the car, but the car doesn't open.
Yeah.
And the creep just fucking axes him in the back.
He does.
Typical kill. It's the way he killed Aaron, you know. And that was the end of the first episode.
Yeah, there's not much interesting things to say about that. There was some meta conversation. It was a pretty standard kill. I will say, as someone who watched, like, Creep closer to when it came out, and I heard that they were... Well, initially there was, like, rumors that there was going to be a third film.
I think it would have worked, especially considering the ending of Creep 2, where you don't see Sarah die. So I thought that would be a continuation of her story, at least for, like, the opening of Creep 3.
Yeah. But instead we got the tapes, which I still hope will get a third film at some point. But the Creeps I enjoyed, and you'll hear about them in the rest of this episode and the next two.
I will say I didn't think Mike was a good actor in it. Like, I don't know, some of his lines felt a bit flat to me.
He wasn't the best of them, but I didn't really necessarily have a problem.
Okay, fair enough. I like the snowy setting, but I will say the thing is these episodes aren't like nowadays in TV we're a bit spoiled because we get like 45-minute episode and that's like the standard.
Yeah.
But these episodes are like 26 minutes long, and it doesn't really give you enough time to like build up the tension as much as like the films do, which I think it works better in.
Interesting. I quite liked how short these were.
Okay.
Because they felt real. I think also because they're connected to a story we already know everything about. So there's less establishment that is needed. And this is more of like pulling back the curtain on the creep. So,
I guess so.
Like the films are more so being on the side of the victim, whereas these tapes felt more like just watching the work and the mindset of this killer. Also, the tapes are almost in real time. That's why they're so short. They're literally the tapes from his shelf. So it just has like the key moments. There's quite mundane moments too. Because it's supposed to be this real life situation with this weird guy. And I don't know. I think it works like that. I think they'd be way too long as longer episodes. I think the length is perfect.
Again, I don't think that they should be like movie length because it is a show at the end of the day. But even at 10 more minutes, I feel like it would work better. I just feel like obviously you know how they're going to end and the entire thing works on Mark Duplass' performance, but I don't think he gets that much to do apart from his like regular thing. You know, it's very like it feels like just, especially I know this is the first episode and they're establishing it, I understand that, but it just feels like it's treading old territory. And I personally, because I'm a fan of the movie, I don't feel like I need to rehash it, but I understand that there are people watching who probably haven't seen the movies and therefore they need it, and that's fine. It's just not for me personally.
Or he's such a ritualistic killer that he has rituals that he does every single time. And I just feel like even if you gave it extra time, it would just be the same thing anyway. I will say towards the end of the series, which we'll get to, I think that like they do get to explore more.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, I came away from every episode just being like, towards the end I was like, oh, I'm ready for it to finish about now, and then it would finish.
Okay. Fair enough. No, that's fair enough.
I think maybe it's because, you know, there's already 2 full movies.
Yeah.
If there wasn't, I'd agree with you. But like we already know so much about this character that I'm like,
I guess, I don't know, maybe it's because I think the format of the movies work better for this type of thing. Is my opinion on it. Yeah,
I think because of what I'm saying with you, like wanting the episodes to be longer to explore more of those things, I think they do that as a series. So instead of having one long episode where they like, you know, kind of normal stuff in the beginning and then we explore more and see more of him, we'll see things that we don't usually see in this new format. They do that across the series. In the earlier episodes, I guess so, it's kind of the same in the latest episodes.
That makes the first few episodes a bit dull.
It does, but if we hadn't watched the first 2 films so close to the series, I don't know if we would have felt that way.
That's
like
true.
If I had like, because obviously we watched the movies recently for our episodes on them, but if I hadn't watched them in like a good few years and then I watched the series, I don't think I'd have the same opinion.
Okay.
I think I would have liked the first 3 episodes to warm me back into it.
Okay, fair enough. Shall we talk about episode 2?
Yes, episode 2, which is entitled Elliot. That is our victim.
This is a guy, he's bird watching and he's filming the birds as he does it.
Yeah.
He spots a dead bird and he's like, ew, people.
Yeah. He's like clearly blogging. He's talking to the blog. He's saying like, I'm not finding the bird that insert weird username said was here.
He says, oh, he sent me these coordinates, so we're going to
like Shark 69.
I thought it was a Sky Shark Mike or something like that.
Something like that.
And he's like, I'm looking for an American avocet, and that's his special bird. That's what he really wants to find.
And as the camera's panning around, he's like, but it's nowhere to be seen. He spots a tarp and a boot sticking out of it.
Yeah.
So he's like, what's that? Zooms in, runs over there.
Yeah, he's filming this. He spots the boot coming out from under this tarp.
Which, mind you, can I just say, already very different than anything we've seen from Creep before.
True.
The first 2 films and the first episode of the Creep
They were
tapes.
in houses.
Not only were they in houses, but he's hired every one of these filmers, which is the first person that was just filming on their own accord.
Yeah.
And then bumps into the Creep in the wild.
Yeah, and there's like it's cool because there's very much wide open spaces.
Yeah.
There's not really many places to hide.
No, it's just completely open field in the middle of nowhere.
Not like the forests and the houses.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because, like, this is the first time it's been different. This isn't someone who's been hired by him. Which, obviously, at this point, you're assuming that the Creep was that person who uploaded on the blog and said, oh, I spotted this bird that avocet, whatever.
Definitely.
But he lifts up the tarp, which turns out to be like a parachute.
Yeah, but it's a boot and there's nothing else there.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a dead body.
Yeah.
But no.
But then a guy from behind him charges at him, struggling to breathe and speak. And it turns out he looks like a parachuter.
Yeah.
And he's having an asthma attack. So he picks up a plastic bag and breathes into it to calm himself. And he lifts off his goggles and we see that it is the Creep.
It's the Creep.
Again, this is episode 2. First episode, he was a vampire. Second episode, he's now a parachuter. It does establish something. It's sort of something that we didn't necessarily know about him before, but he likes gimmicks. In our first and second film, he's pretty much just playing a sort of mundane person. He's playing someone...
Not in the second one. The second one, he openly admits he's serious.
Well, let me just say. So then the first one, he's talking about how he has cancer, etc., right? But he's being somewhat himself. In the second film, he's literally being himself. But none of them compare to, like, pretending to be, you know, an actor / vampire to pretending to be a parachuter.
Yeah.
It's so much more gimmicky than what we've seen from him before. And I think it really goes to start to establish how he actually sees his kills. Because in the second film, he establishes it as his hobby, this passion that he loves. But we don't really get to see him revel in the killing as much as we do in these first 2 tapes, and we're seeing him literally being like, spicing it up, like, you know, a sexless marriage, like finding fun ways to like go at it. And you really do realize, like, like killing is this like fun thing to him. He's not just this like sick person who is emotionally unstable in the first and second film, but he's someone who goes out of his way to play these characters. Like, so much more is orchestrated than we even realize, which you do realize in the first segment, which if you go to our episode, you'll see.
It's a very inventive. I enjoy the different setting. Elliot as a character, I like that we get to see different parts of him, even this one, because in Mike he was a bit flat, but I think Elliot works better as a protagonist because there's a little bit more to him than just you know what I mean, going to do this thing, which you'll see in a minute. At first, he said, I want you to film a video for me because I want to sue the parachute company because they gave me the bad advice to pull the cord 10 seconds, which made me go up instead of down, and I landed 100 miles away, and I need to sue them, so please shoot me. And so he has like a rant type thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, after he does his little thing, he asks Elliot, he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm looking for an American avocet.
And he does that disarming thing again where he turns the camera to him and he says, you know, enough about me. Like, I've not asked anything about you. Like, tell me about you. Mind you, if you watch our first episode, you're definitely going to hear us discuss, or at least me discuss a lot about the homoeroticness of Creep. This is a very homoerotic episode. I mean, even from after he has his asthma attack, he collapses in the lap of Elliot, and his face is like face down in his lap.
He's a weird sexual energy. He's constantly touching and hugging and getting in the nude and things like that.
Or in the first episode with Mike, like he takes his shirt off and gets
tied in the bed,
semi-nude, ties himself to the bed to be attacked. But it's just this homoeroticness, and it's one thing if it was once or twice, but it's in everything. He's so
creepy.
And I did question for a while, like, are his victims only men? But we do get confirmed that he does have female victims.
Yeah, in the second one.
Yeah, but it's weird because we only ever really see his male victims. And we see him kill so many men, and we've still never seen him kill a woman.
I like it as a subversion of tropes. Women they're the biggest like thing in slashers, in horror movies, even in true crime, right? The female victims are the ones who are reported on the most. And I like seeing men... Like, I don't like seeing men get murdered in real life.
I do. No. Oh, it was real life. No, sorry.
But I like it as a subversion of genre.
Yeah, I like it too. I just wish it was more consistent. I wish it was literally that he just had male victims, because that was how I thought it was. I thought it was a subversion. But then we found out he does have female victims, but we've never seen them. And that's what threw me off. Even like on the tapes on his shelf, you see that there's a series of tapes called Donna. Like, who's that?
Donna has multiple tapes, does she?
Yeah, she has like 2 or 3.
Oh, then that might be
most of the people have multiple.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Not all of them, but most of them do.
That's interesting.
Well, like in the first film, Aaron gets like multiple tapes or DVDs.
I thought he only had one DVD.
No, he had like 2.
Maybe it's multiple Aarons.
Yeah. I remember one of the DVDs is literally the creep being upset that he threw away the other DVD.
Elliot says, "Oh, I'm looking for an American avocet." He describes what the bird looks like, and then
The creep is like, "Oh, I know where that is.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen it.
Where's your car? I'll drive you. Where's your car? Give me the keys."
I can't believe he gave him that keys. I thought you'd be like, why didn't Elliot drive himself?
Yeah.
Especially because in my head, like if I was Elliot, I'd think, oh, this person's just been in a parachuting accident. They shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
Not just because you're giving a stranger your keys. Yeah.
But while they're driving, the creep says something really weird. He says, well, Elliot says something about being obsessed with birds.
Yeah.
And he says, I know it's weird. And then the creep says, no, it's not weird. Like,
No.
I'm obsessed with you and you're obsessed with me, right?
Obsession is normal. Like, it's good. It's beautiful. Blah, blah, blah.
Again, homoerotic.
Yeah. He asks him if he baits the birds and if he traps the birds in a sack, which is like, again, it's nodding to the fact of how much he traps and baits his own victims.
Yeah.
Elliot says, no, I would never do that. It's really unethical. Like, you know, even me filming the birds, some people don't like it because there's a whole thing with being in nature and stuff.
Yeah. It does make, I will say, you do question at this point though, because one thing that's been established sort of about the creep is he does research on people beforehand. And don't get me wrong, he's not fucking Jigsaw, you know, he's not out here like punishing people for like things in their life, but he does seem to know things about people. So a weird question out of the blue like that does make you think, wait, does he know something about him that we don't, you know?
Yeah. And then he says, oh, wait, look over there. What's that? Right. And he stops the car in the middle of the street. And Elliot runs out to see if it's there because he says, oh, I thought I saw it in the pond. So Elliot's looking at the pond. And then when he goes back to the car, so he goes back to the car and he notices the creep is missing. And obviously the creep has his car keys. So he's looking around the car. No
sign of creep. He opens the back door. No sign of creep. He gets in the front. Mm-hmm. He's about to drive off.
No, he's not.
I swear he gets ready to.
No, because he goes into the back of the car. He can't see the creep in there. So then he goes round the other side to see if he's there. He looks under the car. Then he comes back up to the, like, looking at normal, like, level. And then he goes back round to the original side he was on. And then the creep jumps up.
Well, no, he climbs into the driver's seat. Yeah, he climbs into the driver's seat. And that's when the camera turns and you see the creep jump in from the back seat.
Yeah.
And scare him between the two seats. Yeah. But that's the thing, he climbs into the driver's seat, so I assumed he was getting ready to go. I would have gone. I think he was smart for trying to leave.
Yeah.
But then that's when the creep gives all these metaphors. He gets really upset at him.
He's like, don't you think that your special bird could have been a normal bird and that's still special?
Yeah, it's almost like he's upset that this guy cares more
about the bird than him.
Yeah. I think because I can't tell, again, this is the thing that he kind of discusses in his monologue in the first one. You never know like what is real and what isn't. So I can't tell how meta this is. I can't tell if he's just playing this up to Elliot.
Or if he actually feels this way.
Yeah, because he set up this whole thing to kill him, right? It's this game that he plays where he's like, oh, I'm a parachute. This is crazy. This is going to be a fun one. And yet the guy doesn't seem to care at all about the crazy circumstances, doesn't seem to care at all about the creep. He just wants to see this bird. And is he actually a little butthurt by the situation?
He has this whole thing about what is and what isn't special. And he looks around.
Because we know that he has issues with connections.
Yeah, and he has issues with lying and being honest and things like that. And so then he says, I'm being honest. Are you being honest about everything you've told me? And Elliot's like, yeah, I have been. And then he pulls out a bag of bait and he's like, this is bird bait. You've been lying the entire time. Like, why would you say this? Why would you do these things? You're a liar. And then doesn't he even drive off at one point?
Yeah, he drives away from him on the long road and then stops. And he sort of goes, you know what, I forgive you, but we're going to have to be honest with each other if we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very weird. He's like, did you understand my metaphors? And I don't believe you. And like,
Elliot
I need to know that you care.
Along. He tries to play along.
Yeah.
But he, like, obviously the creep is onto him. He knows that this is coming to an end soon.
Elliot tries to get his keys back and the creep will not give them back.
Yeah.
And that's when the creep says, wait, look, the bird's actually there. And Elliot refuses to turn. He really doesn't believe him at this point. Believe it.
But he keeps saying, he's like, look. It goes on for a while.
And he finally does look and the bird is actually there.
The bird is there. And
he pulls up his binoculars. He walks into the field, crouches down to take a look.
Yeah.
And the creep, like he's done before, creeps up behind him.
He puts the camera down so there's an angle.
Yeah.
And he creeps up behind him.
With a plastic bag.
And he does turn around. Elliot turns around and puts up a fight.
Yeah, although terrible fight.
Terrible fight. But he does attempt to fight back. It's not like Aaron in the first movie where he doesn't turn around.
But he gets him with a hitman kill.
Yeah. He suffocates him with a plastic bag.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because he did tell Elliot, he says, you have to see the bird before you die.
Yeah.
So you knew he was waiting for this bird to show up. Yeah.
But again, I think there was a lot in this episode already. I think the first episode seemed dull, but then this episode almost gives context to the first episode. Seeing him do these gimmicks, I'm already learning so much more about this character. I'm understanding like, oh, like he really does make a passion and a career out of killing, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
It also pushes more of the question about how much of this is his own personal issues with connection and emotional instability, and how much of this is performance.
Definitely. I think it does make you question it, because he's consistent in the way his mannerisms are and the way he addresses people and constantly talks about loyalty and friendship and truth, and he has these little rituals where he takes the victim's camera and films them himself.
Yeah.
And he hugs them and he gives jump scares, and there's an element of nudity, you know, in most of them. And so you wonder, like, is this actually who he is, and we're only spotting it because we've seen him multiple times.
Also, one thing that I will say a lot watching the films in the series is like, I just want to see him have sex. That sounds crazy. Like, I'm one of those people who does think that like sex scenes in films have gone too far and that they just like don't drive the plot anymore. This is a film that needs one. Because this man is so sexually frustrated, and there's so many questions about his sexuality, his homoeroticness, the way that he treats these characters. I just need an answer. Like, I'm being blue balled. Like, please answer the question, you know?
Yeah.
Is he asexual? Is he not? Is he actually sexually interested in these men, or does he just have really weird boundaries? Let him get laid.
I think as a beginning to a series, I think the thing is that I'm just saying this and doing these things knowing what comes next, because we did binge the whole series together. But I think that as a series, as the first 2 episodes, these are my least favorite of the series. These 2 episodes out of the ones, I'll say that. Okay. It gets better as it goes on. But if you just watch these, then I can understand if you don't want to just continue. But there isn't that much more to do. There's only 4 episodes.
Fair enough.
And I think when these were coming out, I remember seeing a lot of people who were very disappointed in these 2, and I can understand where they're coming from. I do like that the second episode I liked more than the first episode, so you can already see the improvements. I liked how original this was. I liked the different setting and the different type of character he had, and the way he did things was different. It's
definitely a show that's supposed to be watched together.
Yeah.
Like, episodes aren't supposed to stand alone.
Yeah. Even the kill being different, it wasn't a knife or an axe like in the first 2 movies and the first episode, which I appreciated as well. So it gives a bit of variety, and it made me think, okay, these aren't my favourite, but I'll continue to watch it. That's how I feel. Those are my overall thoughts for both.
I will say, I quite like the second episode. The first episode, it's hard to say it's my least favourite, because I have a least favourite that comes up later. To me, again, I see the series as a whole. I don't see them as individual episodes. So it's really hard, because I understand the context that it gives later, and vice versa. So it's like, I don't know, it's difficult, because I'm like, sure, it wasn't like the most like entertaining, but it was like really informative. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, that is part 1 of our 3-part Creep Tapes marathon.
Whoa!
I know.
We're gonna do 2 other parts.
Yes. Alongside the movies.
So if you want a shorter form thing just to listen to while you work out or you're on your way to work.
We're having a shit.
You know what? Probably a good length for a shit, actually.
Depending on how much I have to cut it down.
If you guys could let us know how long you shit for, and we can come up with an average time, so we know how to length these.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
We'd love that, actually.
What did you think of the Creep Tapes? Did you think that it was better, worse, or about the same quality as the films? Which was your favourite Creep film? Which was your favourite Creep Tape episode?
Have you even seen Creep? Because if you haven't, go.
I was surprised. I thought it was all going to be on Shudder, but no, Creep Tape Season 1 is literally on Tubi.
Oh yeah, it's on Tubi. Can you believe that? If you don't know about Tubi, let me not bring up Tubi, because they can talk about Tubi all day.
I just like that it's free.
You be preaching for them.
Hire me. I'll advertise for you, babe.
She already does.
Sponsor.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Like and subscribe. You can find us on all the social medias. They'll be linked below.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next one. What did you say before? We love you. Isn't that what you said in one of our last episodes? We love you.
We love you.
Goodbye.